Hey Switch fans, welcome back to Switch Top. 2025 is looking absolutely stacked for the Nintendo Switch, with some amazing games either coming out or already available. Today, we're counting down the top 20 new games you should be playing on your Switch this year. Let's jump right in. Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2. These games still feel fresh thanks to their gravity-shifting mechanics and varied level design that constantly changes the pace, sending you across miniature planets, space stations, and vibrant cosmic landscapes that never lose their sense of wonder. The controls were refined for handheld and docked play, making movement smoother and more intuitive, while both titles keep their distinct identities. The first Galaxy leans into exploration and atmosphere, while Galaxy 2 pushes challenge and creativity further with sharper platforming and the welcome return of Yoshi as a companion. Despite being remasters, they don't simply rely on nostalgia. The polished visuals, improved UI, and responsive controls help them fit naturally on modern hardware. Each mission feels meaningful, with clever environmental puzzles and rewarding progression that encourages mastering mechanics rather than rushing through worlds. Even today, they stand among the most inventive 3D Mario games ever made, delivering that mix of discovery and momentum that makes you want to collect every star. For anyone who missed the Wii era, this Switch package becomes a perfect gateway into two timeless adventures that still shine among the best platformers available. Neon Inferno brings a stylish blend of retro arcade action and modern shooter design, making it a standout choice for Nintendo Switch players in 2025. Set in a dystopian version of New York City in 2055, the game throws you into a neon-lit world where crime syndicates rule the streets and survival demands sharp reflexes. You can choose between two assassins, each with their own attitude and combat style, and navigate through chaotic districts filled with enemies across both foreground and background planes. The combat system keeps things intense with run-and-gun action, bullet-dodging movement, and melee counterattacks that create a satisfying rhythm once mastered. What really elevates the experience is the visual presentation, a cyberpunk atmosphere built with detailed pixel art, stylish animations, and a gritty tone that feels both nostalgic and fresh. The levels are packed with variety, from crowded alleyways to futuristic clubs, keeping the pace dynamic without overwhelming the player. There's also local co-op, turning the chaos into a strategic challenge when coordinating attacks with a friend. Despite its arcade roots, the game rewards precision and timing rather than just spraying bullets everywhere, making every encounter feel purposeful. Trails in the Sky First Chapter arrives on Nintendo Switch as a refreshed take on one of the most beloved JRPG beginnings, offering a journey that feels both nostalgic and newly immersive. The world of Liberl has been reimagined with polished 3D environments and refined character models that help bring its political mystery and emotional storytelling to life. The combat system blends turn-based strategy with a touch of real-time movement, giving battles a tactical flow that rewards positioning and smart ability usage rather than simple button mashing. What makes this chapter special is its slow-burn approach to storytelling. Rather than rushing into danger, it builds a believable world with characters that grow naturally through small moments, conversations, and choices. You follow Estelle and Joshua, young bracers in training, as they travel across towns and regions that feel lived in thanks to lively NPCs and rich lore woven into every side quest. Quality of life improvements make the game smoother to play on modern hardware, especially during combat and exploration, while the updated UI makes navigation and party management easier than ever. The soundtrack still stands out with melodic themes that reinforce the game's emotional tone, shifting from peaceful to tense as the narrative unfolds.
This is dangerous. How can I?
You'll pay for that!
Discounty stands out as a different kind of sim game on Nintendo Switch, trading flashy gameplay for a grounded management experience set in the quiet harbor town of Blomkest. You take control of a struggling supermarket and slowly bring it back to life by managing stock, adjusting prices, learning customer behavior, and arranging the store layout to keep everything efficient. What keeps the gameplay engaging is how every decision affects not just profits, but also the community itself. Townsfolk react to your success, and small interactions hint at their personal lives, giving the setting more depth than a simple business simulator. The pixel art presentation adds charm without overdoing it, supported by ambient sounds and a relaxing soundtrack that make daily routines feel satisfying. While the core loop is repetitive by nature, it's designed for players who enjoy optimization and find pleasure in perfecting systems rather than rushing toward an end goal. The narrative side is subtle, unfolding through dialogue and town activity rather than dramatic cutscenes, and while it doesn't fully flesh out every character, it creates a believable sense of place. Controls work smoothly on the Switch, making inventory management and customer service intuitive during longer handheld sessions. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 brings together a rich selection of classic fighting games into one package, making it a standout choice for Nintendo Switch players who enjoy competitive gameplay and retro nostalgia. Rather than focusing on a single series, it blends different styles, from tight 2D mechanics to chaotic 3D arena battles, giving the collection strong variety that keeps matches fresh. You'll find iconic titles such as Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper and Capcom vs SNK 2, known for deep combo systems and tactical decision-making, alongside wild multiplayer experiences like Power Stone and Project Justice, where movement, items, and environmental interaction completely change the pace of each fight. Every game supports online play with rollback netcode, making matches feel smooth even across longer distances and letting players revisit these classics with modern stability. Training rooms, ranked and casual modes, spectator features, and leaderboards all add to the competitive depth, giving both casual fans and dedicated players space to improve or show off their skill. Beyond gameplay, the collection includes galleries with concept art and music tracks, building a sense of history around each title and celebrating Capcom's legacy in the genre.
Are you okay? Next location is Osaka.
Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake brings two foundational RPG adventures back with a modern flair, proving that classic design still holds strong when given the right treatment. The game adopts the beloved HD 2D style seen in other titles from the genre, mixing pixel art with layered depth and atmospheric lighting to give the world of Alfgard and its neighboring kingdoms a vivid presence. What makes this remake engaging is its balance between faithful structure and meaningful enhancements. Dragon Quest I retains its solitary journey, placing you as a lone hero rising to face the growing darkness, while Dragon Quest II expands the scale with a full party and multiple kingdoms to explore. Both games feature quality-of-life improvements that smooth out combat and pacing, making battles more strategic and fluid, while preserving the traditional turn-based gameplay that defines the series. The UI feels modern without losing its retro charm, and additional encounters, dungeons, and scenarios deepen the lore, building stronger connections across what fans often call the Erdrick trilogy. Each town feels more alive, with subtle animations and environmental detail that make exploration rewarding, even when sticking to the original roots. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, offers one of the most flexible and engaging life simulation experiences on Nintendo Switch, blending RPG progression with laid-back exploration and a twist of time travel. The adventure begins on a seemingly deserted island, but its mysteries unfold as you're transported into the past after a sudden dragon attack, turning your journey into a quest to uncover what went wrong and restore the land's former beauty. The heart of the game lies in its 14 different lives, allowing you to freely switch between roles like miner, hunter, cook, crafter, or mage, each with its own mechanics and leveling system. This freedom lets you approach the adventure in your own rhythm, whether you prefer peaceful gathering days or diving into combat and dungeons. As you gather resources and progress, you start rebuilding the island, shaping terrain, placing buildings, drawing rivers, planning towns, and crafting your own version of a thriving world. Exploration is rewarding thanks to lively NPCs, hidden materials, and the satisfying loop of upgrading tools and improving skills. The atmosphere balances cozy pacing with meaningful goals, giving the player space to breathe while still delivering mystery and progression. Ball-X Pit brings a fresh twist to the roguelite genre by turning physics-based ball bouncing into a chaotic but addictive combat system. Set in the ruins of Balbalon, players descend into a monstrous pit armed with magical balls that ricochet across walls and enemies, creating fast-paced battles driven by timing, aim, and unpredictability. Each run feels unique thanks to the fusion system that lets you evolve balls mid-descent, creating new effects and powerful combinations that can completely change how you approach encounters. The randomness keeps things exciting, but mastering the mechanics and learning enemy patterns gives a real sense of progression. Between runs, you return to New Balbalon, where base-building elements kick in, constructing facilities, unlocking characters, upgrading stats, and slowly rebuilding a civilization gives the game a sense of growth beyond quick arcade sessions. The visual style leans into the chaos, with screens packed full of bounces, explosions, and enemy swarms that can sometimes feel overwhelming, but it matches the rogue-style energy the game aims for. Narrative takes a backseat to gameplay, focusing more on experimentation and replayability than storytelling depth. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition brings back one of the most ambitious RPGs of its era, with a revitalized presentation that finally lets its vast world shine on modern hardware. Set on the alien planet Mira, after humanity barely survives the destruction of Earth, the game places you among the refugees, building a new settlement while exploring the unknown wilderness beyond its walls. The planet is filled with massive biomes, strange wildlife, ancient ruins, and hidden dangers, making exploration feel like a true expedition rather than a scripted journey. Combat combines real-time action with tactical decision-making through skills and class builds, gradually introducing deeper systems as you grow stronger within the Blade organization. One of the standout features is the ability to pilot skells, mechs that change how you traverse the land, enabling aerial travel, high-speed combat, and access to areas unreachable on foot. The remastered edition refines pacing, streamlines menus, and improves visual clarity, making the complexity easier to approach without sacrificing depth. While narrative unfolding leans on mystery and survival rather than traditional hero storytelling, it complements the feeling of being an explorer in a world that doesn't revolve around you.
Yes. Now tackle it up close. Assault!
Side splash! Flame flow!
Appreciate it.
Flame grenade!
Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist delivers a dark yet beautiful Metroidvania experience set in the haunting Land of Fumes, a kingdom ruined by its own ambition. You play as Lilac, an attuner who awakens with no memory except the ability to purify corrupted homunculi, turning enemies into allies. This mechanic becomes the foundation of the combat system. Instead of attacking directly, Lilac summons purified homunculi to fight for her, allowing you to customize your approach with melee strikes, ranged shots, magic abilities, and powerful special skills. As you explore factories, toxic forests, labs, cities, and abandoned academies, new abilities open hidden paths and secret chambers, rewarding curiosity and encouraging backtracking once you've grown stronger. The world feels dense with detail, each area saturated with atmosphere, blending melancholy visuals with subtle storytelling through environments rather than lengthy dialogue. The soundtrack reinforces this mood, carrying a quiet sadness that contrasts with the intensity of combat and boss encounters. Accessibility features make exploration smoother, with rest points, fast travel, and clear map indicators supporting the journey without reducing challenge. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar offers a refreshing twist on the farming sim formula by tying your daily work directly to the revival of Zephyr Town's long-fated bazaar. You arrive as the new farmer and quickly learn that the town's lifeline isn't just crops or livestock, it's the weekly market, where you set up your own stall and personally sell what you've grown or crafted. This turns every week into a cycle of preparation and strategy, gathering materials, tending fields, improving animal yields, and deciding which items will attract customers on Bazaar Day. When Saturday arrives, the tone shifts from quiet farm life to lively shopkeeping as you interact with townsfolk, set prices, and manage your display like a miniature business. Windmills and gliding mechanics add flavorful touches, giving mobility and utility to everyday tasks while emphasizing the theme of wind and trade that defines the town's identity. Outside of work, Zephyr Town feels alive with characters that grow more involved as you build relationships. Friendships deepen, festival events liven up the calendar, and the town slowly regains its charm as the bazaar becomes more successful. Story progression ties directly to community growth, making each improvement feel earned rather than automatic. Shinobi, Art of Vengeance, revives classic ninja action with a modern edge, embracing fast-paced combat and stylish precision while keeping the spirit of old-school challenge alive. The game follows a skilled shinobi driven by a personal quest, navigating enemy strongholds, rooftops, forests, and hidden temples with agile movement and stealth-based approaches. Combat rewards timing over button mashing, pushing you to study enemy patterns, strike with intent, and master parrying techniques that turn battles into intense duels. The level design often splits paths between direct confrontation and silent infiltration, giving players freedom to choose their preferred style, whether slipping past guards like a shadow or clearing entire zones with well-executed swordplay. As abilities unlock, traversal becomes smoother and more vertical, with wall runs, grappling hooks, and swift dodges adding flow to each mission. The presentation leans into a cinematic aesthetic, using dynamic lighting and stylized visuals that resemble animated ink and brush strokes, reinforcing the game's feudal atmosphere. Enemy variety increases steadily, mixing samurai, archers, mystical foes, and elite warriors that demand adaptation rather than repetition.
Make death rain. That's it. Make death rain.
Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, blends farming, town building, exploration, and action RPG elements into a flexible adventure that lets players shape their own pace across the land of Azuma. You step into the role of an earth dancer, gifted with mystical abilities and tasked with restoring harmony after a major catastrophe leaves the world unstable. What sets this entry apart is how smoothly it connects its different systems. Farming and construction feel responsive and simplified, letting you build villages, raise creatures, and craft tools without being buried in micromanagement. Exploration opens new regions filled with materials, monsters, and guardian spirits, while combat mixes weapon skills with elemental magic for quick, accessible battles rather than heavy difficulty spikes. The social aspect is just as important. NPCs have distinct personalities, character events bring the community to life, and relationship paths add emotional depth beyond daily tasks. Whether you want calm days on the farm or dungeon trips with companions, the game adjusts to your rhythm, offering freedom instead of pressure. UFO 50 stands out on Nintendo Switch as one of the most creative collections in recent years, offering 50 unique games imagined as if they were developed by a fictional 1980s studio. Instead of minigames or demos, each title feels like a complete experience, ranging from platformers and shmups to JRPGs, puzzle adventures, tactics, horror themes, and even experimental roguelikes. The variety goes beyond simple nostalgia. While the visuals and sound evoke classic 8-bit and early console vibes, the gameplay follows modern design principles, avoiding frustrating difficulty spikes and offering smooth controls across every genre. Some games are quick arcade-style challenges built for short bursts of play, while others, like Grimstone, a full JRPG, can last dozens of hours. What makes the collection especially interesting is the shared universe tying many of the games together. Characters reappear, sequels show up, and recurring symbols hint at a fictional timeline behind the whole catalog. It delivers surprises and encourages discovery as players find their favorites among the mix. Not every game hits equally, but exploring them becomes part of the experience. Absolum brings classic beat-em-up energy into a modern roguelite structure, delivering fast action with depth that keeps each run unpredictable and rewarding. Set in the dark fantasy world of Talos, you join a rebellion to restore magic and overthrow the tyrant Sun King Azra, battling through mines, forests, castles, and corrupted lands filled with enemies and mini-bosses. Each playable hero comes with their own combat style, whether a swift rogue, a heavy-hitting brawler, or even a magic-focused fighter. And the roguelite system lets you earn new abilities, spells, and upgrades that change how you approach every encounter. Combos, dodges, counters, and arcana-based powers blend into a satisfying rhythm once mastered, making combat feel reactive rather than repetitive. Between runs, upgrades and base improvements provide lasting progression, encouraging experimentation with builds and routes. The hand-drawn art and expressive animations give every strike and spell flair, making battles feel cinematic even in chaotic moments. Co-op support adds another layer, letting players synchronize attacks or improvise team strategies on the fly. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster brings two classic JRPGs back to life with a presentation that preserves their charm while smoothing out long-standing frustrations. Both games retain the signature 108 Stars of Destiny system, inviting you to recruit a massive cast of characters who gradually form a rebellion against oppressive forces. The turn-based combat remains faithful to the originals, but updated menus, faster battle options, and smoother character movement make the experience much more approachable for modern players. Suikoden 1 shows its age a bit more, with a simpler plot and looser pacing, yet it lays the groundwork for what makes the sequel shine. Suikoden 2 elevates everything. Its narrative builds deeper emotional stakes, its characters feel more defined, and its themes of loyalty and conflict still resonate today. The visual enhancements help environments feel more vibrant, while the mix of old sprites and revamped backgrounds creates a distinct aesthetic that honors nostalgia without feeling cheap. Quality of life features like autosaving, dialogue logs, and improved navigation keep longer sessions accessible and help reduce repetitive frustrations often tied to retro JRPGs. Some grinding and random battles remain, but they're easier to manage with updated systems. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound revitalizes the classic side-scrolling roots of the franchise with a sharp focus on precision, challenge, and fluid movement. You step into the role of Kenji Mozu, a young ninja thrown into crisis as demons invade and peace collapses, pushing him into the legacy of a clan whose fate now rests on his skill. The game carries the spirit of the originals, fast reflexes, tight platforming, and demanding combat, but refines it with modern responsiveness and clearer mechanics that make difficulty feel earned rather than punishing. Wall runs, mid-air dodges, parry windows, and hypercharged attacks create a rhythm that rewards mastery over repetition, turning each level into a test of memory and execution. The pixel art presentation is vibrant and cinematic, bringing demon-infested towns, moonlit rooftops, and fiery battlegrounds to life with dynamic animations that make every swing feel impactful. Bosses hit hard and force adaptation, pushing you to learn patterns and react, rather than simply overwhelm them with brute strength. The campaign keeps story light but purposeful, allowing gameplay to take the spotlight while maintaining a classic ninja tale of duty and resilience. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles brings a legendary tactical RPG back with renewed strength, offering both nostalgia and modern refinement in one package. Set in the politically fractured world of Ivalice, the game follows Ramza Buell as he navigates a conflict shaped by class divisions, corruption, shifting alliances, and personal sacrifice. The narrative remains one of the genre's most compelling, and now it benefits from clearer visuals, smoother UI, and optional voice acting that makes key scenes land with more emotional weight. The core gameplay stays faithful to its foundation: turn-based battles on isometric grids where positioning, elevation, and turn order matter as much as raw stats. Over 20 job classes allow deep experimentation, letting you build custom strategies through layered skill combinations, creature allies, and specialized party roles. The remaster offers two modes: classic for purists and enhanced for players seeking streamlined options, faster battle flow, and accessibility features that ease the learning curve without reducing tactical depth. While some battles still demand patience and planning, the improved navigation and quality of life tweaks help reduce grind fatigue.
The next move is key.
Hollow Knight Silksong builds on the foundation of the original, while reshaping it into a faster, more agile adventure that feels both familiar and completely new. Taking control of Hornet, you explore the kingdom of Farloom, a brighter yet equally dangerous realm filled with layered vertical spaces, hidden routes, and hostile creatures that demand quick reactions and careful observation. Movement is more fluid than in the first game, with faster attacks and expanded traversal options that give combat a rhythmic flow. Instead of charms, the game introduces tools, crests, and silk skills, letting you customize Hornet's playstyle through offensive boosts, defensive adjustments, or unique abilities that trigger with silk, an energy collected through combat and exploration. This system adds strategy to healing and combat choices, encouraging players to adapt as their loadout evolves. The world design opens up progression, offering multiple routes and letting curiosity lead the way, making exploration feel more natural and less restricted by power gating. Side quests, optional bosses, and NPC-driven tasks known as wishes give the adventure more variety and replay value. Hades 2 elevates the roguelike formula with sharper combat, richer mythological storytelling, and a more flexible progression system that encourages experimenting with every run. This time, you play as Melinoe, daughter of Hades, on a quest to battle the Titan of Time. And her moveset immediately sets a different tone: faster, more agile, and built around sorcery as much as blades. Runs remain intense and unpredictable, but now the hub world plays a bigger role, letting you craft upgrades, build relationships, and unlock mechanics that carry across attempts. Weapons vary widely in style, and divine boons from gods shape your approach, offering melee builds, magic-focused routes, or hybrids that can completely change your rhythm. Resource management is deeper too, giving each run purpose beyond survival. The world feels alive thanks to new biomes, atmospheric art, and strong voice acting that highlights character interactions and mythic tension. Even failures push you forward, turning setbacks into opportunities to refine strategies. Combat remains punishing, but rewards timing, positioning, and smart ability use rather than brute force. And that's our top 20 new Nintendo Switch games to play in 2025. From space adventures to dark fantasy journeys, this year is bringing incredible variety to the Switch library. Which of these games are you most excited about? Let me know in the comments below. And if there's a game coming in 2025 that I missed, drop that in the comments too. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to Switch Top for more Nintendo Switch content. Thanks for watching.